Run, Juanito, run. It is midday and you have important business. A school is a time for refreshments, for jokes and laughter. It is a time for quietness, for pleasant games and gentle amusements. It is a fine day and school is out. It is a day, Juanito, and you have had your lunch. But your father is hungry. It is for this reason you run, leaving behind the games, the amusements. Run now for the food your mother has prepared. For also may eat and rest and refresh himself. This is the story of Juanito and his father Juan Tomas Garcia, and his mother Maria, his sister Petra, his little brother Jesus, and the baby Conchita. This is the story of a part of the United States, the island of Puerto Rico. The story of the people who live on that island. This is a land where many live by farming, where a man's living comes from tobacco or coffee or citrus or sugar. Whatever the crop, the work is hard, the sun is hot. The work is hard, the land is poor. It is difficult for a man to earn a living. This is the story of how people are, how they act with each other, how they are happy and contented or miserable and afraid, the problems they have. Island, the land itself, the poverty on the land, have much to do with the nature of a man, a woman, a child. But the nature of people, the way they are, grows out of other things too. It grows out of the feelings a man has. The way he feels toward the men he works with, toward his wife, his children. This is a story of some of those feelings that men and women have. How those feelings affect the children, how they help to mold the way a child grows, the way he develops into a man, the kind of man he will be. It is also the story of children and how they feel, and what the feelings of a child may do.
Hello, and welcome. I am Charis Euphranor, the first and last philosopher VTuber, the last librarian of Alexandria, and as perhaps the thumbnail, which might be subject to change, I don't know.
Okay, harlot.
Shut up, I'm doing my intro. Also,
Happy birthday, Hannah.
a simp. Shut up! Okay, I'll get this out of the way. Whose birthday is it? It's Hannah's birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Congratulations, Lynn of the Double. Congratulations. Hello, everyone.
I'm sorry, Hannah. Happy birthday.
Alright, shut up. I'm throwing Barrett in jail. I'm throwing him in jail right now. He's interrupting my flow. Hold on. How do I throw him in jail? I'm throwing him in jail. Okay. Sorry. Wait, why am I apologizing? You should be apologizing to me. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Anyways, yeah, happy birthday. Okay. I hope it's good. Everyone say happy birthday or don't. Doesn't matter. Anyways, okay. What am I doing today? Stream Elements is here. Go away. Okay. I'm here to laugh at Chairman, all while munching on clearance Valentine's Day candy I brought myself. I don't like candies. I kind of like chocolates, but I couldn't really find any clearance chocolates today, unfortunately. I don't know why I couldn't. It's probably because I was like looking late in the afternoon, and at that point it's all been gone. So it's all been taken. What was I saying? How many Haribos did you get on Saturday? How many Haribos? I don't think I got any Haribos. You suck, bring Parrot back. No. I'll do what I want, and that includes not doing that. Okay. I need to... Sorry, that was my chair. I need to say something. I need to say many things this stream, but the first thing I should say, after all the, you know, standard greetings and everything, is that I have lied to you in the past. Okay? I'm lying to you right now. And I will continue to lie to you in the future. Now, what does that mean? That means that the following... Today's stream is going to be fictional. Okay? Which is to say, some of it's made up. All men do is lie. Okay? So, which is to say, some of the details of what I'm about to tell you are deeply personal truths. Some of them are complete lies designed to make you feel something, really. Just feel anything, just to feel something. Certain events may be strung together in such a way to make it more dramatic. Certain things, certain scenes, certain events may have been over-exaggerated. Some things would have been made up. Some details may have been changed and doctored. And you should not take what I'm about to say as the definitive lore of Charis Euphranor. Okay? I need to preface by saying this. Like, I would not actually tell you everything that's like it down to the exact details about significant experiences that I've had. I will tell you versions of those events if they lead to a point that I think might be grander or might be worth doing. Above all, I'm trying something here, okay? I don't think I've ever shared any information on stream quite in this way before. I'm gonna turn my gain down a bit. Everyone tell me if the volume's fine right now. Because my microphone's like a little... Sorry, like a little fuzzy. Are we Sag farming for the day after Valentine's Day? We're not Sag farming. I'm not farming anything, okay? I'm not farming anything. I just want you to feel something. Do we get a prize if we figure out which parts are fiction, which parts are real? I'll tell you that there are 3 key details of the story that are changed. Maybe made up, maybe exaggerated, maybe just, you know, slightly altered. But there are 3 very important or very key details that are not true. That much I'll tell you. You don't get to guess which one it is. You don't get to, like, I'm not going to tell you which one it is. Which one you got right, which one you got wrong. I'm not going to tell you if you got anything right or wrong. I'm not going to tell you if, like, what... It's not a multiple choice question you can guess either, okay? Like, it just... Basically, just know that I'm about to lie to you. Know that what I'm about to say, some of it is not true. Some of it is true. And the like, every convincing lie has to have, like, a little bit of the truth in it. Like, that's lying 101. Right? So, just know that, like, don't quote this stream at me, because if you do, I'll be like, I'll have to think in my head back to this version of the story I'm about to tell you. Okay, that's all the meandering out of the way, I think. Sorry to derail for my birthday wish. Okay, so thank you, Hannah, for the super chat. Sorry to derail for my birthday wish and Valentine's. I guess you have to tell me what your favorite thing about me is. It has to be personalized. It can't be like my potential or whatever. God. Okay. I don't know. My favorite thing about you? I don't know what my favorite thing about you is. I don't know what my favorite thing about myself is. Let me think. Let me think. I probably won't quote the stream, but I will bring up the dentist story. That's... shit, that one's kind of real. So I'm... shit. Anyways, let me think. I don't know. You have... heart. Probably that. It's probably that, I guess. You have heart. I'm not going to elaborate on what that means, but I think you have heart. I think that's probably my favorite thing about you. Question mark, question mark. You'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. It's pretty generic. Is it generic? Is it generic? I don't think that's generic. Is it generic? No, I don't mean like a physical, like... I don't mean like a physical. It's generic? Okay, well, what do you want that's not... like, well, then it's... I don't know. Do you want... so you don't want what my... so clearly you don't want my favorite thing. You want very specific detail. That's what you're looking for, right? Because if you wanted favorite thing, that's that. If you want specific detail, that's what you're asking for. Sure, I'll throw that into. I don't know. I think you're one of the... you're one of the... you are one of the... you're one of the smartest dumb members of my chat was what I was going to say. But that feels rude. You are definitely the dumbest smart person. I think you're not the smartest dumb person. I don't think you're a dumb person. I think you're a smart person. I think you are the dumbest smart person in the chat. And it's very admirable to be the dumbest smart person. Because you kind of have to like... you are punching above your weight to stay afloat in some of the conversations, but you're nonetheless doing that. Who's the smartest person in chat? It's always probably going to be Fi. It is probably going to be Fi whenever he's in chat. If not, then... and if you say, oh, it does, people who you work with don't count, then, like, I don't know. I don't know. Academically, maybe. I think it's not just academics. I think he is probably the smartest person to grace the Charis Euphranor chat. Anyways, enough of this. Thank you for the super chat. Hope you're having a good birthday. Stop pressuring me for compliments. You know I'm bad at those. You know I can't give people... you know I'm terrible at compliments, right? Like, you know I don't like to flatter people. You know, I just like to tell people they're wrong or stupid. I don't actually, but like, I don't really like... I don't say nice things intentionally. I just say things, and sometimes it's nice. Like, I don't think intentionally, oh, think of a nice thing to say, Charis. Think of a nice thing. I just, like, say what I think, and then sometimes it's nice. Like, I'm not intentionally mean, but oftentimes I don't intend to be nice. Who's the dumbest? I think it's Charis Euphranor. Maybe? Thank you for calling me stupid on my birthday. You're very welcome. I'm willing to do it on any other day too. You could have said they're constantly funny. I think, okay, you know what? Okay, here's actually maybe something, maybe a real compliment would be, I think you probably understand my sense of humor better than most other chatters. Probably. You probably understand what I would find funny more than most people, which I find is not right. It's not quite like an admirable trait. Like, it's not like you worked really hard for that. So it's not something I care about personally, but it's just like, you know, it's probably something that you might care about. Sure, make it about you. This is my stream. This is my stream. Okay, sorry. You're in my domain. You're all in my domain. May parrot pluck your hair in your sleep and you don't realize until it's too late. I haven't realized yet because my hair is still fine, but like every day I do kind of check. I do kind of like push my hair up and look at my like... Never mind, I'm not... Never mind. I do push my hair up from like my hairline and pretend like I'm bald every day. So like I just so slowly I get used to the way I look when I'm bald. So eventually when male pattern baldness hits me, like it's not as traumatic. Like I've been like, you know the we watched Princess Bride on Discord a few days ago. In the Discord, like this was a movie night, right? We watched Princess Bride. You remember the guy who trained himself on the poison so that when it came time to duel the I forgot what his name is, the guy that says inconceivable, he like he actually just poisons both the goblets. Like that's me. I will inject myself with poison every day so that at some point in the future, Vizini, yeah, at some point in the future, when it's time to poison somebody, I will just poison myself as well and then live through it. Oh shit, there are like a considerable amount of people here today. Okay, I don't want you guys to hear this. Go away. Fuck. Okay, alright, okay. Isn't that paranoia? I'm not answering that question. I'm gonna consult my lawyers. Anyways, yes, so I'm gonna maybe tell a story. And then after that story, you guys, if you want to tell your stories too, feel free to. I cancel plans for this. Okay, go to your plans right now. Go away. Go to your plans. Go to your plans right now. I'm serious. Go away. It's your incel story. Why would we miss it? Okay. Amongst the 19 of us is someone who knows you IRL. Fuck, I think that might be true. I think one of you guys might be someone who knows my government name and like knows who I am and is like, ooh, I wonder what he's gonna say. Listen, if you're listening, if you, the person who knows me IRL is listening, or maybe people, probably just person, right? I don't think the odds are low that it's more than one. It's half of this is made up. Or, you know what, for the sake of my sanity, all of it's made up, okay? It's actually all made up. None of this is real. I'm just telling a story. It's a fake story. Go away, okay? It's a fake story. It's actually all fake. Okay. It's actually all of us. Alright, shut up. Hi, the girl in the title. There's literally no way she's watching this. There is just no way she would watch this. I know that. I know she's not watching this. Fuck. There's no way. There's literally no way she's watching this. Someone who knows that person might be watching this, or might watch this as a VOD. But no one directly related to any of these incidents is watching this, I think. How could you be so sure? I just, I'm predisposed to talking to people who are not VTuber fans. Like, that's... Man, I don't know. Okay. Alright. This VOD, this stream is divided into 3 sections. Okay? I'm gonna put some text up so that it's clear. Text. Prelude. Okay, there we go. This is the prelude. Put that there. What if this is the VOD that the algorithm recommends to everyone? I swear to God, if it's this one, it cannot be this one. Okay. So this is like a story that was this was like a thing that's 10 years in the making. That's true. Now, those of you who have been more, can you mod me for spoilers? Shut up! Shut up! This is 10 years in the making, isn't it? I had a crush on a girl for 10 years. I don't quite remember where it starts. In the sense that, okay, like 10 years is technically stretching it. I knew this person for like 10 years, I think. I probably started actually crushing on her like 2 years in. So technically it's like 8 years, but 10 years sounds really nice. And I get to put Eren Yeager in the thumbnail. So I'm going to say 10 years, right? Here's how it started, I think. I was but a young lad, and I was in high school. I think I was in high school. I was in middle school. I don't remember. I think I was in middle school. And I knew this girl. I knew this person. We'd talked before. And I thought that she was like, I thought she was cute. Like that, but that was kind of it. Like as like a teenager, right? You kind of just think someone's cute. And is it just me? Okay, is it just me? I just like, sometimes I just think someone's cute and I don't act on this at all. I keep it to myself entirely and I do not do anything. Like there's not much emotion to it. I just kind of feel it, right? Anyways. Fuck. So I was aware of this person's existence, and at some point one day, this was during an event. So it wasn't a regular school day, it was like an event day. And we were stationed at the drama studio to help out with shit that was going on the day, right? Okay, whatever. I'm just kind of sitting there watching something going on. There's like a performance going on or whatever. No, it was in between performances. And I was sitting on like it was like a ledge. It was like a little ledge step. It wasn't quite a seat. It was more like a ledge, and it was kind of isolated anyways. I was just sitting there minding my own business. And she comes in, looking behind her from like the door. I look at her and go, and I'm wondering to myself, I'm like, what's going on? Like, is everything okay? She comes and sits right next to me. And then puts her head on my shoulder. And then immediately I go, what the fuck? What the fuck? What's going on? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Help! Somebody help me! I don't know how to, I don't know what's going on. I've never dealt with a situation like, so I'm panicking. So I'm like, okay, what is, like, do I need to run? Is this a robbery? Like, how do I deal with this? Shortly after, a kid like runs in. Dream ? It was all a dream, actually. These 10 years have just been a dream, actually. kid runs in and looks at her, looks at me again, and then looks at her again and goes, "Hey, so who are you dating?" who's what's like a generic guy name? Like John. That's John is the guy name, right? Who's John? Who's John? Somebody said you're dating John. That's what the kid says, right? So then the girl like looks over to me and then looks back at the kid and goes like, "He's John. We're dating." And because we were both helping out in the drama studio and sort of, I was inclined to pick up on the act. I was like, "Oh yeah, okay, I know what this is." Immediately calmness returned, right? It all kind of, the calmness sort of returned. And I went, "Oh, okay, I understood." Like in my head, I went, I understand the assignment. And I looked at the kid and I went, "Yeah, so how is this any of your business?" And then I kind of looked at the kid in a way that wasn't quite like, I wasn't trying to scare the kid off, but I was trying to like be smug. And then the kid like stared at me and was like, whatever. And they like ran off. True, I did the yes and. I did. Kid runs off. I had to go, "Ooh, okay. That's over. We're good now." She stays on my shoulder for the rest of the evening. At some point I was like, hey, like, I asked her, I was like, like, I mean, like, kid's gone. And she was like, "Yeah, but like, she might come back." I was like, fair point, I guess. I guess we'll commit to it. Okay. Right. And then like, and that was probably where it began. That gave me a vision of the, how like, the meme of like single men who have like one positive interaction with like a woman and then immediately in their head they picture like the next 10 years or whatever. That was kind of me, except I could not have imagined how the next 10 years would have developed. I think. I don't know. Could I have? I probably could have, actually. I probably could have predicted this. If you asked me, like, at that moment in time, if you traveled back to Charis Euphranor at that moment in time, you asked him what's going to happen in the next 10 years. I could have given you a fairly accurate prediction, I think. I don't know. I might be overestimating my past self. That sounds like the hook to a mediocre rom-com manga. Okay, it's like not mediocre, because it's just bad, I think. I think this is just bad. So that's where it began. For the next few years, we were friends. I don't think anything that was more like intense than that happened over the next maybe 2 years or so. Like, we saw each other, we hung out in different friend groups, but those friend groups, like, our friend groups were also, like, chill with each other, so occasionally we would, be around in each other's vicinities. We didn't really, like, share the same classes, so it was kind of hard to, like, approach. But we obviously stayed in contact, we were friends, and we did drama together. That was, like, our main sort of, like, thing, I think. At that point, pretty much all my friends knew. They, like, I think it went, because other people saw it too. Like, it wasn't just the kid that was witness to that evening act. It was like all of my friends too, who were like, oh, Charis, what's going on? What are you not telling us? What are you not telling us? And I had to go like, well, I'm just helping a friend out. And they were like, yeah, you were. You looked like you were enjoying it a little much though. And I went, I don't know. I don't think so. I actually probably looked very nervous and afraid. Is probably what I looked like. But whatever. And I was like, teased a bit about it, but like people generally understood. It was like, oh, okay, yeah, like I guess he's just chill like that. I guess they're just chill like that, right? I ended up like at some point within those 2 years, I think like I just brought it up. I was like, so do you actually have a crush on John? She's like, no. She was like, yeah, like I used to, but like wait, not anymore. And I went, cool, okay, whatever. It's none of my business. I don't need to know. I don't need to know at all. Fast forward a few years, we were set to graduate middle school, I think. Yeah. We were set to graduate middle school. And we both independently, like, we didn't communicate this at all with each other, but we both independently of our own accords decided to sign up to do the graduation speech. Like, we had like a middle school graduation and everything, and we had a graduation speech. Is it okay? What's middle school? What's like? This is when you're like 15. This is when you're like 15. This is when you're like 15, 16. You're moving on to high school, right? Isn't that how that works? Is the beginning of high school like your 17, 18s, or is that like before? Middle school is like 12 to 14. What's after? Okay, so it's like, yeah, we were like, oh no, this was like high school. Yeah, we were junior high. Yeah. So we graduated high school, I think. And then we were gonna get into colleges. Yeah. Secondary. I know it's secondary, but you're all Americans. But you're all Americans, so I don't know what the equivalent vocabulary is. So we both signed up to do the speech independently. Show up to the teacher's office to, get the rundown and what's allowed, what's not allowed, see each other and go, "Oh, well, hello." You? Really? It was the two of us and nobody else? Nobody else wanted to do this? So then we spend the next like few months, I think, like not reconnecting, because we talked to each other obviously, but like before then, but like that was when we really spent some more time talking to each other. We start talking outside of school, like online. Largely it was like through text. It was through the medias of the nowadays, the what do the kids use now? Snapchat? Yeah, something like that. We had that. Yeah, I'm 60 years old, by the way, so this was 40 years ago. Okay, just pretend like Snapchat existed 40 years ago or whatever. Get really personal, I think, and then we shared, I think, probably a lot of several evenings, like kind of just FaceTiming each other or whatever the equivalent is. Yeah, again, like I don't know what the equivalent is because I'm 6 years old. Okay, so bear with me. And at first it was just to do like homework and to bounce ideas off of each other, just to chat. And then gradually it became like just checking in on each other, talking about our feelings and shit that's going on, the pressure of it all, etc., etc. Fast forward to graduation. We both decided to, and we talked about it too, but we both kind of we'd already decided before we even like talked about it, but to go to the same like college together. College is what that's called, right? The last 2 years before university, I guess. We were gonna we were gonna hang around, and that's what we did. Sending career pigeons to each other. Yeah, there you go. That's what we were doing. AOL Messenger, maybe that, yeah. College and university, same thing here. Fuck. Okay, it's like the last look. It's like high school, senior high. Yeah, it's senior high school. It could have been a different school, but we stuck to the same sort of senior high school. And we were in theater, of course, because that's, I guess, how we met. We did other things too. There was like PE. There was like other shit. English wasn't one of the subjects we shared, but there are like lots of things I could talk about, but I'll just probably like highlight, I guess, the biggest, most important few things. One was like, because we started like seeing each other a lot more, like in school, like she did this thing where every time she saw me, she would just bare tackle me. And it started with me going like, and it kind of ended that, like, she would just completely like throw her arms around me and like hold on for like at least like 30 seconds. And you know that's like 25 seconds longer than a hug usually is. And I obviously am like, are you okay? Are we done? Is everything alright? And she's like, yeah. I just know that this makes you uncomfortable and I'm trying to help you with it. And I said, okay. I said, alright, sure. And at first I was obviously really uncomfortable. Cause I just like, I wasn't very comfortable with like any sort of physical contact. But over time I was like, hey, I think I trust this person. I think this is fine. Whatever. Sometimes it was from the back. Sometimes she would literally it was like in the library. She would see me and run like across the library, like straight into me, and then like throw her head straight into my chest. It was like I was being attacked at every corner. At every corner of my life, and I kind of enjoyed it, I think. There was another incident. It was like in PE, and we had to like pair up, and because we had to do like a pair activity where one person would carry the other person on their back, and my usual PE partner could, for some reason, didn't think I could carry him. I could have, probably, I don't know, but he kind of ran off with like someone else who was like a much bigger person. And so I was left and I was like, oh, fuck. What do I do now? Girl comes over and is like, all right, let's do it. And I went, what do you mean, let's do it? And then I went, okay. And then, a second later I went, okay. And as I was about to like crouch, get in position, like she got in position first and wanted to carry me. And I was like, in my head, I was like, there's like no way you can carry me. Like this is, she was, I think at that point, probably slightly taller than me and slightly bigger than me. But like I didn't think she could carry me. But she was like, dude, come on, like there's literally no time. It's go time, everyone's doing the activity. And I went, fuck, okay, sure. And I like hopped on her back, and then we did the activity. It was like it was a little embarrassing. I don't think anyone really paid attention to me because of how chaotic it was. But if anyone wasn't doing the activity and staring at me, that would have been the funniest shit to them, probably. Short king? I wasn't. It was like puberty, okay? It was a thing. We were growing. I was growing. I wasn't growing as early as whatever. Anyways, though I will say probably the biggest thing that happened during. Okay, hold on. This is not the prelude anymore. This is, I had forgot at some point we're not in the prelude. This is like the 10-year buildup. We left the prelude like 10 minutes ago, I think. I don't think we're in the prelude anymore. This is part of the 10-year build-up section of the story. Probably one of the corest memories, the deepest core memory, the most entrenched in my mind palace, is one where we, and along with many other people, signed up to do a play for the school, right? It was like Shakespeare. It was Shakespeare. It was, and this is a detail. It was a Midsummer Night's Dream. And I played Demetrius, I think. Yes. But prior to that, I didn't know. I auditioned, and our drama teacher was organizing the casting and everything. So in the middle of our drama period, this was the girl. You have no idea how deep this is all entrenched. So, did I tell this part of the? I don't know if I have. we were kind of like minding our own business, like, you know, writing on something or practicing some sort of blocking. While our teacher was sort of, and our teacher was letting us do it independently. But all of a sudden, like, I get called out to come over and like sit down. And I was like, oh, what's going on? Teacher stares at me. And this was like the day that auditions were, no, not auditions. The casting was supposed to be finalized for the play. And the teacher, like the miss, like the I forgot. No, I remember her name, but I'm not gonna say her name. But like the teacher looks me dead in the eyes and she says, "Charis, do you like girl's name?" She was in the room, and I went, in my head, I saw the QuickTime event. I was like, I have to answer this correctly. If I don't answer this correctly, it's over. Like, I need to say the correct response. What is the correct response to all of a sudden being interrogated by your drama teacher on whether or not you like the girl who's literally in the room with you right now? And the answer, after about like probably a second, it was longer than a second in my mind, but it was probably just a second. I said, yes. Yeah, I do. Why is that? Right. Teacher went, oh, nothing. That's all I needed to know. I went, okay. And I went back. Fast forward to the end of the day and the casting gets announced. And unfortunately, I think she probably like she hasn't, like, the teacher probably changed her mind. And put me as Demetrius, but not the girl as the love interest. The girl ended up playing one of the fairies. Why would she do that though? I don't know. I don't know why anyone would do that. I don't know why drama teachers would do this. Teacher was a hater? I don't know if they were a hater, but like, anyways. So we weren't playing love interests, which saddened me a lot more than it should have. Like, cause in my head consciously, I was like, yeah, whatever, I don't care. But then, like, in my heart, I was, as the angsty teenager I was like, fuck! It's over! I hate it here! I didn't think anything of it. I didn't think anything of my emotions, really. We obviously, like, you know, we would show up to rehearsals, we had different rehearsal blocks, but occasionally they would overlap and we would chat and we would, you know, exchange gossip probably over what was happening in the production. And it was like a good time. It was like a good time, but we didn't really, you know, nothing big happened. Nothing really big happened. At some point, I met her mom. It was after one of the rehearsals we did. And this wasn't for the school play. This was just something else. And we were in the same, house system. Whatever the equivalent is. Translate what I'm about to say to whatever makes sense to you in your head, okay? But we were in the same, like, house. Not like a physical house. I mean, like you know, like Harry Potter. There you go. That you know Harry Potter. You know what that is. It's that. It's a bit of that. Anyways, and we had to, and there was like we had to do like a performance, for a house, and we had to do a dance. I didn't dance, and there was a section where I was chosen to dance because nobody else wanted to do it, and I was like, I was the least offended when asked. I was the least offended boy when asked to dance. So they were like, "Oh, hey, Charis, you could do it then." And I went, "Okay," because I just can't say no. I guess, whatever. I couldn't dance. I didn't know how to dance. But then we spent many evenings practicing, and she was really good at dancing, so she taught me. Can I do another reading, Chairman? Not like now, please. Anyways, there were many evenings, that we spent like dancing and her teaching me how to dance. This at some point led to, you know, us leaving really late, but also her like leaving her laptop. And I saw it because I left a little later. And picked her laptop up and ran after her. Didn't see her, and I was like, "Oh shit!" She like left. I don't know. Like it was a while out. Like I just missed her, but I was like, "Hold on, wait." Like I know, like she lives nearby. I could just walk there to where she lives. So like I walked over to where she lived, and then I gave her a ring when I was at the door, intending to go like, "Hey, by the way, you left your laptop. I've got it with me. Just open the door." You know, I was gonna be all smooth or whatever. I'm standing at the door, right? Door opens. It's her mom. She looks at me and goes, "Oh, it's Charis. Oh, it's you, Charis." And I was like, "What the hell? Who are you, woman? Why do you know my name? Why do you know my name?" What? Turns out, like, the public banter that girl and I had on, like, what was it, Facebook or whatever? No, it wasn't Facebook. It was like, it might have been Facebook. I don't know. One of those, whatever was the platform at the time. Okay. We had like public banter, and it was just kind of funny. Like, and like, I forgot what exactly we said to each other that warranted her mom knowing of my existence, but she did. Like, it's like, "Hello, Charis, what are you doing here?" And I went, "Here's your daughter's laptop. We were practicing," and then she left. Here it is. Also, there was like a worksheet like clipped into the laptop, which is probably important. So here you go. You know that. Okay, bye. And I really tried to exit as soon as I could. But like, you know, I met the mom. I met the mom too. Probably wasn't MySpace, so maybe TeamSpeak. Translate it to whatever you wanted to translate it to. Fast forward to graduation. And due to certain health complications that had been happening over those few months, really, she couldn't show up to the graduation ceremony and the dinner and all that. Which was like sad for me, because I was like, man, the fuck is the point? Like, obviously I was still hanging out with my friends and we were having a swell time. I emceed as well, so I was up there on stage, you know, doing I loved doing that shit in my youth. I loved standing, you know, this is probably where that comes from. I think I'd always been the person who threw themselves at the earliest opportunity to stand in front of an audience and say things. Like, I just loved doing that. I loved having a microphone with me and saying shit. It was great. I lived for that. Anyways, toasted everyone, you know, had a great time. Ultimately felt a little hollow. Sorry, someone said, "Well, since you're 60, I just think 80s and you got a beeper or I don't know, making mixtapes for your crush." I didn't make a mixtape for my crush. One of my friends made a mixtape for me. For one of my birthdays, like a friend of mine gave me a mixtape. Until this day I still haven't listened to it and I've lost it by now, but you know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you're out there, person name. I'm not going to say the person's name, but like, I'm sorry if you're out there. I did not listen to the mixtape. Her name was Cheryl, I'll give you that. I'm sorry, Cheryl. I didn't listen to the mixtape you gave me. I've definitely lost it by now. My apologies. I'm sure it was cool. I lost the mixtape, okay? Anyways, where was I? So, you know, it was graduation. We head off to, like, college, university, whatever it was. And I felt like, and we went to different countries. Like, so she didn't stay in the country. She left and went somewhere else. And I went, Like, and it was only, I think, it was probably a year into uni when I realized, I was like, I don't like anyone here, man. My heart is someplace else, is probably what I thought. And then I realized, at that moment, I think I had a crush on her. Fuck. It was like, but it was literally that point. Like, it was after all of these events. I was just sitting down and I was tired and I was like sad and I was like not enjoying my social life at uni as much. And it only then did it hit me. Man, I think I had a crush on the girl and I didn't do anything. I did, like, you know, we hung out, but I didn't really do much with it. Fuck. It's too late now. It's over. And then I said to myself, it's never over. It is never over. Okay, if there's one thing I know, it's that if I put my mind to it, I can achieve anything. So, got in contact again. Started with like just, I think, like replying to a story that she posted. And I was like, well, that's cool, or something like that, you know, or like asked a question, or it brought something up, and we had a little chat. Then it became like sending each other reels and posts and stuff, just funny memes. And then we reconnected, started talking again. Talked about many things. One of them was the topic of crushes in high school. And I asked, or really I said first, I admitted defeat first, I think. I conceded first. I said, yeah, I had like, she was asking me, did you have a crush on someone in high school? And I said, yeah. And she was like, who? And I was like, ah. She probed me for a bit, and I was like, yeah, I had a crush on you in high school. And she was so smug about it. She was like, yes, I knew it. She was like, ha ha. I'm irresistible, aren't I? And I went, fuck, okay, like you win, okay. Holiday, you ask had? So you're ahead of the script, okay? Then at some point, you know, after the gloating, after the, you know, haha, of course you'd have a crush on me. She kind of goes back to like so had? And I went, yeah, I had a crush. She's like, do you still do? And I was like, I don't know. I haven't like reconciled with my emotions yet on this. Plus, we were like really far away, right? Is what I said. And then at that point, I was like, I need to counterattack right now. So I counterattacked and I went, so do you? Do you have a, yeah? And she was like, yeah, in high school. I went, okay. In my head, I went, okay, good. At least I know that after literally physically throwing herself at me like every day, every time she saw me for like 2 years, that yeah, this person probably has a crush on me. I just wanted to make sure, okay? I just really wanted to make sure. And so, you know, I asked what now, and she said, I don't know as well. And that was, please tell us this is grandma and your grandpa. We'll get there when we get there, okay? So at some point I was like, you know, I was losing like conversational fuel, because, you know, we're in different countries at this point. We were not doing the same subject. She was not a philosophy major, okay? Like, I'll tell you that much. It was, I don't think I would. I don't think it would have worked. I don't think it, no, anyways. So I devised a plan. You see, she was Spanish, and I was not. She was Spanish, and she spoke Spanish. I did not speak Spanish. We had communicated largely in English. I knew she was Spanish, but because I didn't know any Spanish, I never talked to her in Spanish. The uni I was attending had a Spanish course. It was like a module. It was like a 1-year thing. You could do like the first term, second term thing. And the lecturer was her mom. So then I went, I think I know exactly what I need to do. Signed up for Spanish class. Obviously I told her, like, and the thing is, I didn't just do it. I already made up my mind. The moment I made the connection, the moment I formed the dots, I knew I needed to do it, but I didn't do it quite yet. I wanted her to want me to do it, right? So in our, like, when we were talking one day, I went, so, you know how your mom teaches, like, Spanish at the college that I'm in? She was like, no way, are you thinking about doing Spanish? And I was like, you know, yeah, like a little bit. And she was like, yeah, that's so cool. Then we can, like, you know, go to Spain, and then I can help you and stuff. And I went, yes, this is going exactly according to Keikaku. This is all falling in place. Yes. Signed up for the course. Showed up. First day. Lecture is looking around the room. There's probably like around 30 of us, because there just weren't that many people at the time who wanted to, I think, like, learn Spanish anyways. She takes one look at me and goes, oh my god, Charis. Walks up to me, gives me like a big hug in like the middle of like the class, by the way. Like, class was about to start and she pulled this shit and I was like, hi, hello, miss. And then, like, I wasn't sure if I wanted to call her auntie or like miss or whatever. I called her by her like professor name, and then and she was like, guys, everyone, this is my daughter's former high school friend, Charis. And I went, hello. Nice to meet everyone. I thought it was Chinese, not Spanish. What made you think that? What made you think that it was Spanish? Gentle reminder that I'm changing details in the story to make it more dramatic. Although arguably there are some bits where I've actually made it less dramatic than it actually was, to keep it in tone with the rest of the story. Anyways, you know, mom's ecstatic. The mom's just absolutely ecstatic to have me in the class. I'm learning Spanish. I'm picking it up, and every few evenings, FaceTime the girl again, and she would like study with me. She would help me revise. She put up flashcards. She wrote and drew flashcards for me, and then held them up to like the camera. And then also made notes for me, like for shit that I was struggling with, and then took like pictures of her notes and then sent them to me. And I would like print them out. We practiced like pronunciation and stuff. It was all right. I was terrible, actually. Frankly speaking, I was like horrible. I ended up with like B's, I think, and I shouldn't have. I did not deserve those B's, man. Like there was definitely something in favor for me there. Like my oral component was just absolutely garbage. Anyways, point of it is though that we kept in contact that way. Towards the tail end of this, I had an opportunity to go on an exchange program to go anywhere in the world, and obviously I was like, if I could go anywhere, texted her about it, you know, floated the idea, hey, why don't I come over to you, and then we can hang out? And she was like, yo, that'd be so cool, let's do it. I made up a bunch of reasons to my parents and like to everyone around me for why I wanted to go there. I was like, oh, I really like the environment there. You know, I think the scenery is great. I really enjoy traveling in that part of the world. You know, like the food is great, whatever. I didn't mean any of it. I didn't mean any of that. I was going there purely for the girl. And nothing else. Nothing else. Side note, I didn't really elaborate on this because it's not really the romantic part of it, but like at the time, I think early on in my uni career, my GPA was at like a 1 point something, and I was on the verge of getting kicked out, right? I wasn't getting kicked out. I wasn't getting any of the letters, but I was doing really poorly. And the moment I realized I needed not just to pass, but to get like a pretty decent GPA to qualify for an exchange program was when I knew I needed to lock the fuck in. Because I was like, this is the only way I get to see the girl again. So I have to lock in and do all of this. Again, I hope the title and thumbnail are prove to be accurate and not clickbaity in the slightest. Some of this is exaggerated, but like, you know, some of this is pretty real. Anyways, so I locked in, got the GPA I needed, just barely got it, secured the exchange, and like, I think a week before I was, and here's the foreshadowing, okay? The week before I set off to the country. It wasn't Spain, by the way. She wasn't studying in Spain. She was studying somewhere else. I told my best friend, I was like, I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna go meet my crush. And either I'm gonna have a girlfriend, or I'll start VTubing. I said this to my friend. I said I didn't say VTubing exactly. I said I would make content. I said I would do like YouTube stuff because then I would have time to. Because I was like, if I'm dating somebody else, I probably wouldn't have time to. I wouldn't have time to do like content of any kind, right? I don't think I said VTubing because I don't think that was really a thing yet. I just said like I would start making YouTube videos. My friend was like, bet. Can't wait to never see content from you. I'm glad you guys are invested in the pain. Anyways, please tell me you're lying. hopped on the plane. Got there. It was, again, bear in mind, it was in Spain. Because, oh yeah, one of the things I forgot to mention before the flight, right? This was before the flight. This is while we were just like talking. This is prior to the flight, right? One of the things I was talking about was like doing a PhD. Because at that point I think I knew I wanted to do a PhD. Or I thought I wanted to do a PhD. But doing a PhD was going to be really expensive. Because, you know, it was going to be expensive. She goes, oh, you can do it in like Spain. They'll pay you to do it in Spain. Like you'll get funding and you'll get like a salary and it's great there. I looked it up and I went, oh yeah, you do get to do a PhD for free in Spain. Oh, hang on. I need to be like a Spanish citizen. Do you still know some Spanish? No hablo español. I was like, yeah, but I'm not a Spanish citizen. So I don't get to enjoy this. Like, you're Spanish, but I'm not, right? So I don't really like. And she was like, it's fine. We can just get married and then you can do it for free. And she kind of just said it like casually. Like, and I went, huh? Okay. All right. Whatever. The first time I was like, probably just trying to get a reaction out of me, I'm keeping it stone faced over here, okay? The conversation comes up again, like in a few months since, and she says it again, and I went, hmm. Okay. What's the mood? What are you doing here? The second, and then the third, and then she said it like a third time. Like a few weeks after that, she said it the third time. And she was like, and she said, here's the context. The context was her recounting how she was talking to her mom about something. About me doing a PhD in Spain. And her mom asked her, like, how's he gonna do a PhD? Like, how's he gonna get to do that for free though? He's not a Spanish citizen. And she told me, like, she was like, oh, and then I just told my mom, like, I could just marry you, and then you get to do it. And then my mom, like, here's what she was saying. She was like, oh, and then my mom went, yeah, I guess that could work. Lol, I didn't exchange in Spain. You would have picked up Spanish quickly. I didn't go to Spain. I did not go to Spain. That wasn't where I went on exchange. The girl's Spanish, but she was not in Spain. Anyways, I'm on the plane now. I'm headed there. Things are looking good. Checked in, put my stuff down. Immediately texted her. The moment I landed and got everything sorted, texted the girl. I was like, hey, guess who's here? No response for a day. I went, oh, that's kind of weird. But then she comes back and was like, oh, okay, sorry. Super, super busy past few days. Because she's working on a final year thing, I think. A final year project. And I went, hey, no worries. Don't worry about it. That's okay. I get it. People are busy. So we're gonna meet up? She's like, yeah, absolutely. We're gonna meet up. We met up. For the first time. We were just chilling at a cafe. We're like, oh my god, long time no see. Hello. How you doing? We talk. We have a really good time at the cafe. And then we took a walk. We took a walk around because, we didn't have anything to do. This is foreshadowing for later, by the way. We took a walk and we were going through a clothing store, I think, and she saw a sweater. It was a pink. It wasn't rainbow, but it was a pink gradient sweater. It was pink and yellow and a little bit of orange, I think. And she was like, this is such a cute sweater. And I was like, you know what? I think it would look great on you. You should get it. And she was like, I'm not getting it. It's too, and I was like, why not? And she was like, it's way too expensive. It was how much? It was $40, I think. I looked at the price down. I was like, ooh, it's $40. Huh. But she was like, this is way too expensive. I'm not doing that. I said, oh, maybe later. Maybe at some point, in the future, maybe. $40 is expensive. We were broke uni students, okay? Whatever. And neither of us came from money, I think. I certainly did not. Anyways, it was way too expensive. Anyways, and then we wrapped up for the day. This was the timeline then. I'm not going to tell you what year it was, because this was a while ago. But I'll tell you that it was in January. And she was all, me gusta ese meneco. Chico bonito. I don't know what that means. I think I know what that means. No, I don't know what that means. I told you, I lost all of my Spanish, okay? I wasn't, no, that's not, I didn't tell you that. I said I was never good at it. That's what I said. I said I was never good at it. This is January, right? And we were like just planning, you know, a few weeks later, we were planning our next meetup. We were like, hey, when are you going to be free? Oh, I'm going to be busy these days. I've got a project then. How about this? And how about this week? And I go, oh, I don't know. I can't do that week. I've got a thing with some friends I met here. So, and I promised them I would, you know, do this with them. And she was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And, $40 is expensive as hell when you have 20 cents in the bank. Exactly. There you go. And we were looking through dates in February, okay? It was February, maybe like the 5th or the 6th, right? Basically, it was the week before, okay? And she was like, oh, how about next week? And I said, yeah, I could do next week. Shit, I was gonna say if I say the actual day of the week, then you might be able to cross-reference that with like the year it happened. So I'm just gonna say that I'm gonna use this year's calendar as a reference, okay? So say it was like last week. Say it was like last like Thursday or whatever, okay? And she goes, can you do next Saturday? And I just went, yeah, sure, I could do Saturday. I'm free on Saturdays. I look at the calendar, and it said 14th of February. And I went, And at that point in my mind, I instantly connected the dots, and I was like, I need to go get that sweater, I guess. I think I know where this is going. You're only free on Saturday, you say. All right. Sure. Then I guess we'll meet up on Saturday. We talked a lot about other things. Something I didn't mention was we also floated the idea of heading to Spain together over the summer. Like over the summer that I was gonna travel, like, cause I was gonna go on exchange to go meet up with her for the semester. But after that, we like in the summer, she was like, we should go to Spain. We can go to Spain together. And I was like, yes. Yeah, we could do it. Yes. Let's do that. Let's go to Spain. Yeah. A couple of my like friends from the exchange program were like, hey, Charis, you want to go to Spain? I went, no, I'm not going to go to Spain. They were like, why not? And I was like, well, I've got plans to go to Spain anyways with somebody else. So just don't worry about it. Charis, you're stressing me out. So to get to where she was, I needed to hop on a train. It was not a long distance away, but it was still a train ride away. So I needed to hop on a train, right? So obviously I go get the sweater. And on the morning of the Saturday, 14th of February, I put on all of my best, like, smart casual clothes. Like, put everything in my backpack. Crossed my heart and I hoped to die. And for the first time in my life, I think, I was early to something. I have never been early to anything in my life. I was not early. Like I'm a chronically late person, as you already know. And most of the times in IRL, right, I would be on time. I was never early for anything. I was early for this. I got there an hour earlier than I needed to be. Like, at the train station, got everything, got the chocolates. I didn't want to get like heart chocolates because I was like, that's a little much. So I'm going to get like just nice regular chocolates, right? I got the sweater as well. Boarded the train, headed over. And the train, I intentionally bought a train ticket for like the ride that would give me like some amount of leeway in case I was late, just so then I would still be on time. I was early, so I was pacing about. And we meet up. Hey, how you doing? Great. Just wrapped up some work. Awesome. You know, get some food? Yeah. What should we get? Oh, I don't know. Just maybe something really casual. And I was like, you sure? We could go, like, you know, we could get brunch or something. She was like, nah, maybe just something quick and chill. Like, just casual. And I was like, sure, why not? We just got, like, sandwiches. We just got some sandwiches, right? She was really insisting on, like, you know, it being, like, a just casual thing. Grab the sandwiches. Change your voice more so I get immersed. I can't do her voice. I couldn't do her voice. Whatever. Grabbed her sandwiches, sat down at an open grass field. It was a little moist, with dewdrops hanging by some of the grass blades around us. The sun shining right through one of those big buildings. One of the big, like, campus buildings. Turned to her and I took the sweater out. Right? Grabbed the chocolates as well. She was like, Charis, what are you doing? And I went, hold on, let me do this. I just kind of want to say something. Right? And I said something along the lines of, I'm going to paraphrase. I'm not going to say what I actually said. I'm going to paraphrase. Said, hey, I think you're really cool. I really want to spend more time with you together. I don't really feel this way about like any other person. I don't think I've ever felt this way about anyone in my life. And this, you know, this is just like an invitation to hang out more, is all. I didn't want it to be some sort of boxed commitment. I was just like, hey, do you want to just hang out more? At some capacity that might be a bit further than, you know, the platonic one. She blushed a bit. She blushed a lot, actually. I was like, oh my god. You also going, you're like, no, man, we were like sitting down. It was chill. It was a chill, like, sort of thing, okay? Hang out. Yeah, I didn't say hang out. I think the words I used were like see each other more often. I think is what I said. I don't remember exactly now. Okay. Stood up just to get on one knee. Yep, yes, doing some stretches. Actually, I got something to say. No, I was anyway, she blushed and was like, oh my god. Sorry, I don't know how to say this. And I was like, it's fine. You can just say no. Like, it's chill. It's okay, dude. You can just say no. You can just say no and like I'll back off. It's cool, really. Like, I get it. I know it's a little much and like we haven't spoken in so many years. So maybe things have changed. That's fine. You don't have to, you know, you could just say no. And she was like, no, but like I really and she was like, you know, looking for the words. She was just trying to say what eventually came out as, I think I like you as a friend right now. And I went, hey, that's cool. That's okay. And in my head, genuinely, I was happy. Because I didn't actually think what mattered to me at that point in time was like a yes. I just wanted the courage to say it. You know what I mean? That's all I like, because that's what's within my control. Whether or not she reciprocates my feelings is completely outside of my control, and it's not something like, I could ever, like, great if so, but this is out of my hands, right? But at least I have the courage, and I have the wit to plan, to foresee, to make the right moves. I think they were the right moves, at least. To show up on time and to be honest with you and myself. That's what I wanted. Right. And I was like, oof. I'm sorry, is this awkward? Are we still friends? And she's like, yes, we are. It's okay. Like, this is fine. I was like, we'll still hang out. She was like, yes, we'll still hang out. We had, at that point in time, we had planned over the next few months to do stuff. We were going to go see a play. We were going to, because, we did theater. We were going to go see a few plays. We were going to go hang out somewhere in the, like, not in the same area of the country, but somewhere a little further away, Go on a little trip or whatever. We had like a few things like planned out, right? And because she was only free in the morning, in the afternoon she had she had shit to do. It was like not seeing someone else. It was like a school thing. I forget. It doesn't matter. Anyways, because the actual date was like a weekday. I'm just using Saturday because that's this year. The actual date was like a weekday. So she had like shit to do. But I was like, as I went back home happy. I was smiling. I was like, yes, I did it. I did it. That's all I needed to do. Oh yeah, like at the time that's what that is part of what she said. But she also said something along the lines of, this is subject to change. We could hang out more and maybe my feelings will, develop or whatever, right? It's something along the lines of what she said. I forgot to mention that earlier, but that is something she said as well. So I was like, hey, if we hang out more and she does change, she does feel a certain way, then it'll be great. But otherwise, we're still hanging out. That's cool. I'm just hanging out with a friend. Because we're friends. She ghosts me for the next 4 months. For the next 4 months of my life, I kept trying to make plans. I kept going, hey, let's do this date. Sure, okay. Literally a day before. Sorry, I can't do it. I go, that's okay. You suggest another time then. She goes, okay, suggests another time. All right, let's do that. Buy tickets or whatever. 2 days before that. Actually, I can't do it. Okay. Well, do you want to just, meet up for like a coffee or something? Yeah, sure. Okay. When are you free? I'm free like in 2 weeks probably, once I hand this in. And I go, okay. 2 weeks later, hey, how did that go? And she was like, oh, I've got another thing too. And I went, okay. This is where like the multiverses converge, by the way, when I tell you that it was during these few months that that I got hit on by Miss Country. Actually, I was traveling with my other friends who were actually willing to make travel commitments with me and follow them through. And when we were on the train at some point, we met a Miss Country and she hit on me real hard. And I said no for many reasons that I've stated on stream. All of those reasons were true. All of those reasons were true, by the way. Like, I didn't lie about any of those reasons. But the biggest reason of all was because I kept my heart in one place. I did. Now it makes sense. Yeah. It's all falling together, isn't it? Remember, some of this I'm making up so that it's a more coherent and interesting and dramatic story, okay? Remember that. I need a drink. You have no idea how much drinking I did after this. So 4 months go by and I don't hear and no plans have been made at all, or every plan has just been completely abandoned. And at that point I was just like, well, I think it's just not gonna work out. So I'm gonna stop bothering this person, you know? I'll just not talk to her. Won't initiate anything, won't DM. I'll just stay neutral, just be on my way. And we stopped talking. Obviously, we stopped texting each other once I stopped initiating. For about 2 weeks. She hits me up one day. This is at this point, this was I don't know, June? This was May, I think. It was either May or June. Near the end of my exchange, right? She goes, hey, I'm so sorry we haven't had a chance to meet up or whatever. Do you want to go grab a coffee at this date? I know I can, I'm definitely free then. And obviously I went, sure, yeah. Okay, let's do it. Let's meet up, right? We meet up. I am just happy to see this person alive at this point. I'm like, hey, look, it's okay. We don't have to, we don't have to do this. You're alive and fine, right? I can leave if you, in my head, I'm thinking, I can just leave if you want me to leave. I can just leave. I can just go. I could just go if this isn't comfortable. This is absolutely fine for me. I expected this. I get it. But she insisted on meeting up, so I was like, okay, let's meet up. We meet up. And I had the worst conversation of my life. I had the worst conversation of my life. Let me give some context. Let me give you some context for why I would say that, okay? I am not a very handsome man, okay? I'm not very well off. I don't have many connections with powerful, famous people or whatever. In short, there is no reason to talk to me if you don't want to. And because of that, part of the privilege I've enjoyed by being a mediocre person in terms of looks and connections and wealth and all of that is that anybody who's looking for those superficial things would not seek me out. It's like a great filter that's been passed. And so anyone who wanted to sit down and just talk to me wanted to talk to Charis Euphranor because because I'm just I guess I'm just a great person. I don't know, whatever. But it was because I'm a chill person and I'm funny and probably intelligent to some degree and whatever. Ugly privilege does exist, kind of. So I wasn't ugly. I'm not ugly by any means, I think. There are people way less fortunate than I am in the facial department. So I'm grateful for that, at least, right? But I'm very unremarkable. So anyone who has ever talked to me in my life did so because they wanted to. And because of that, I've been able to have back and forth reciprocal conversations about things that are, both of our interests, and people laugh at my jokes and enjoy hanging out with me. And no one's ever hanging out with me for something else or somebody else or whatever. It's never happened. It has never happened in my life. Until that day. We sat down. And it felt the entire time like she was there because she felt like an obligation to be there. And this was some sort of LinkedIn networking thing rather than just friends catching up. She'd never done this before in our IRL hangouts. But she had her phone out half the time, just absentmindedly texting people. I would try to initiate conversation by saying some things, and she would just do one word responses, yeah, okay, whatever. And whenever, the only time she ever went into detail about anything about her life that's been going on was her mentioning how, like, oh, I've been hanging out with this guy recently. And in my head, I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. I don't care. I don't give a fuck, man. Like, you can do that if you want. This is none of my business in my head. But because I'm a friend, I'm like, yeah, that's cool. That's great. All right. Cool. You know, like, I'm trying to be supportive as a friend. But also, I'm like, you know, like, I don't need to, like, man, I don't care at all. What the fuck? This is the same cafe, by the way, that we went to when I first landed, but, you know, to almost round off the point poetically and nicely. So, we finish up, head back out, and, she goes, hey, I'm gonna go do some shopping. You wanna come, you wanna join me? I was like, no, I've got something to do. I had nothing to do. But I said, I've got plans, sorry, I'm a little busy. But you know, hey, we can talk next time, right? And she's like, yeah, sure. We can talk next time. Yeah, okay. Bye. And I wave her bye. I turn around and I say to myself, I am never talking to this person again. I am never fucking talking to this person again. It is the most over it has ever been. But I don't yet know why, but I feel incredibly upset and frustrated. And I just don't think I need to be here for this. Like, what the hell did I do to deserve this? What the fuck? And, you know, then I start drinking. Did your feelings about poop? Yeah, it did, but, like, I didn't know why at the time. It took me a while to rationalize it, but, like, you follow my train of thought here. It was not Vegeta. It's not quite Vegeta in the Rain meme, because Vegeta in the Rain is like, he's just sad. I was like sad, but I was also like angry. I was like, what the fuck is this? What's going on? Why would, like, what did I do? What? Why did I, like, why, God, why did you do this to me? Powers that be, the universe, what the fuck did I do to deserve this? Girl from the title, eye emoji. Fuck you, no. If you actually were, you wouldn't be reacting this way, because, you know, the epilogue is kind of like bittersweet, but whatever. Anyways, so I like left. So I left and I did not return. And we went, or me and my other friends went traveling over the summer. We went elsewhere, went to different places. While I was abroad, this was like a month after this incident, right? Get a text from the girl, and she says, hey, I'm free next week. Do you want to hang out? And part of my heart still yearned to say yes. Part of me was like, I really, really want to see her again, because I spent the past 10 years emotionally invested in this person. I'm not ready to let it go. And the other part of my heart looked that part squarely and said, good night, sweet prince, and killed it. I had too much self-respect. I was a little too desired, honestly. Too intelligent of a person, too wise to be fallen over a girl who would treat me like shit. I wouldn't even fall for a girl who treated me really, really, really well. Like this shit is not easy. Like, you can't get me. This isn't how you get me. Like, I would never be a simp, is what I said to myself. And I said, no, I'm sorry. I'll be flying back by then. I wasn't. I lied. I wasn't gonna fly back then, but I said, I'm gonna fly back then, so I won't be around. So, sorry. This is his red pill arc. I did not. Okay. Au contraire, actually. We haven't gone to this bit yet. You foreshadow it. I'll get to it now, actually. You know what? This is a good time to. During that time I picked up feminist philosophy. And at first it was just academically I picked it up as part of, you know, when I was on exchange. But like I gradually did actually start reading it. The original like thumbnail quote for this stream was gonna be like, I read feminism to cope with rejection. I changed it last minute because I like this thumbnail more. Like I just like the simp thumbnail. I feel like that makes more sense, right? But I actually did read feminism at this point in time, partially because I was like, how the fuck do women think? Like, why are women this way? Why do they do this? Like, what is wrong with them? And I was like, you know, I guess I gotta consult the books. I guess I have to consult the literature to find out why I'm in such an abysmal state of my life right now. So I did. And I read de Beauvoir, I read Helen Sixu. I read, you know, some of the other greats. And one of the conclusions I kind of came to, one of the rationalizations I made was, well, I think she wanted to piss me off in our last encounter. I think it was perfectly, she knew what she was doing. She's an actor and she's a phenomenal actor, all right? I think she knew that she was gonna piss me off with that. Like it was everything. It wasn't just one thing. It was everything. It was the phone. It was the texting in a conversation. It was the one word responses. It was all like an act, and it was a very, very well executed act. Sure, but why? What was the reason? Like, why would you do that? Why the fuck would you do that? And I think, it's because men don't handle rejection very well. Right? And I wanted to sympathize with that perspective. So that's why I get it. I get why, as a woman, you can't just say no to a guy, even though I'm a guy who just wants to be said no to. I understand why that doesn't happen, because sometimes, as a woman, in a heteronormative society we live in, blah, 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 okay? As a woman, if a guy hits on you and you say no, they might kill you. Like, this shit could happen. Like, this shit could happen. It's some sort of, like, statistic where, like, many cases of murder, many cases of femicide are caused by men who knew the women. So your life is at risk. Or they might kill themselves. That too, yeah. Men are dangerous. I understand. And from that I wanted to sympathize. From that I wanted to sort of get where she was coming. Like, why would anyone do this? So that helped me a little bit in rationalizing why one would do that. And for a while, I think I was satisfied with the answer. I thought, yeah, okay. I guess that quells the stirring of my heart or whatever. But then I thought a bit further, and I think this really is maybe the even more important conclusion takeaway. Yeah, but it's not like she didn't know me. I've been talking to this person for 10 years of my life. And if she thought that I was the type of man to be vengeful if somebody said no to me directly, and I would just, I would get angry or violent at that. If she thought that I could have been that person, this probably is not the love of my life. Like, this is probably not someone who would actually want to engage with me at all through any sort of like romantic means. It just wouldn't happen. So really, what I thought was a story 10 years in the making that went south the last moment was doomed to never have worked in the first place. Like, if this is what you think of me after 10 years of talking to me and getting to know me as a person and going through experiences together and growing as people and, you know, all of that, and, you know, me being the first person in your life you've ever opened up to about your feelings, like, if this is what you think of me, then you don't know me. And if you don't know me, then this isn't gonna work, is it? And so at that point, I went back. Then I went back to where I came from, where I was, and talked to my friend about this, and said, "Looks like we're a VTuber now." Like, my friend, like, literally, we sat down, and then, like, this is one of my friends. We sat down, and he was like, "So how was it? How was, like, the day, right?" And I took my phone out, and I was looking through, like, my images, and he was like, "Ooh!" Right? He was so excited for, like, the image out that I was about to show him. And I clicked on the image, and I turned my phone around, and I showed him, and it was a rough draft of Charis Euphranor, and he went, "Fuck!" Oh, it was all that pain was worth that moment. That was funny. That was fucking funny, man. Oh. And I was like, "I know, right? It's amazing, isn't it?" And he went, "No, man, what do you mean?" And I went, "Yeah, our team drew this." And I, you know, I didn't say our team. I said, like, real person's name drew this. Isn't that awesome? Like, this is so cool. I'm going to make content. And he was like, "No, man." Yeah, it was a sketch of Charis Euphranor. It was one of the first drafts of the Charis Euphranor design. Oh god, that was funny. And, you know, like, lots of, like, tears about this, lots of, like, lots of drinking. I didn't think about killing myself once, though, which is pretty cool. Like, not once in this whole arc did I think, I gotta kill myself. I never thought that. So I'm proud of myself for that. I never thought this was my fault and I should die. I always thought, like, I was like, my hatred wasn't directed towards me. It was directed towards the world. I was like, this is, like, this cruelty inflicted on me by the fates themselves, I will have them torn asunder. Like, I was in that headspace when that was going on. Oh. And that's the end of the Valentine's Day lore. Not only did you get invested, but I also got invested emotionally. Thank you for getting invested emotionally with me. At that Miss Country, what about us? Miss Country's forgot about me, I'm sure. Actually, I don't know. Maybe not. I think, yeah, we're mutuals on Instagram, and, like, she's liked some of my stuff, and I've liked some of hers, so. Also, fuck you, whoever it is that's making accounts like this. Epilogue. Miss Country's a content creator too. No, I don't think so. Miss Country's, like, kind of a public figure in the fact that she's, like, a Miss Country, right? You kind of have to have some sort of public presence, but I don't think she's a content creator. Anyways, Epilogue. She reaches out to me one day and goes, "Hey, I need help on a project." This was, like, many months later. It was almost a year later, I think. She says, "I need help on a project, and I think you would have really good advice." And for a moment, I really thought to just write "fuck off" and then, like, send, and then, like, that let that be that. But I didn't think that was the type of person I am. Like, I'm not very spiteful. I'm very forgiving. But I just said, "Yeah, sure." Okay. What do you need help with? And she was like, oh my God, thank you for saying yes. And I was like, okay, well, and then while we were talking about it, I was like, why didn't you ask like other people? And she was like, well, I just don't know if if other people would like judge me for it. But I knew you wouldn't judge me. So I was like, yeah, that's a fair point. I wouldn't. I'm a bit too good of a person for that, I say sort of smugly, and we joke about it. And there was like just a tiny glimpse of a moment that once was that never came to be. Helped her out with the project, finished everything. It was good, and we caught up and stuff. Both of us have moved on since then. Me to her to greater things. Me to whatever the fuck this is, so probably worse things. Whatever the hell Charis Euphranor is what I moved on to, I guess. This was many years. Yeah, not many. This was a few years after the fact, and now we're on like good mutual terms. I promise you, I don't really have any hatred in my heart. I don't. I'd really like if she could just be honest at some point in our lives and admit that she fucked up and that it was awful what she did. She probably was trying to do that, like, when she reached out again, but I said no to it, and I think she understood. So I think it's probably kind of mutually understood what transpired and how it wasn't a great thing that she did, but also that we're both adults and we've moved on from it, and I don't hold a grudge or whatever. And frankly, I wasn't the one who needed some sort of emotional maturity out of all this. It really was her, so I was fine. I'm good. Does drinking help? No. Not alone. Drinking with your friends, maybe, but it's really only because you're with your friends. Or I was with my friends. And like I was just complaining and I was being super dramatic and we were doing karaoke and stuff and I was just like letting all that emotion out. It was great. I would have blocked them personally. Did the ex-crush get married? I don't think she's married yet. I think she has a boyfriend now. At this point, she surely has to, right? I don't know. No, I don't think she's married. No. At least you're a VTuber now. That's like not a consolation prize. This is actually the worst. This is actually the worst possible timeline that we lived in. I literally was like, I still clear as day in my head. Remember the moment I told my friend, I was like, I'm gonna either come back with a girlfriend or I'm gonna be a content creator. I always think back to that moment whenever I like. Not always, but I occasionally think back to that moment whenever I like click go live. I think like, yeah, none of this would have happened if that went well. What the fuck? Be thankful you met us or something, at least have pity. Pity for what? For myself? For you? I'm not pitying anyone. Am I thankful I met you guys? I don't know. I don't think I really met you guys. You're all like numbers on my screen, okay? You are pennies in my like Fortune 500 balance sheet, okay? You're not real. What rejection does to a man. True. Now that was like, okay. Now that was many Valentines ago. Many Valentine's days ago. I'm faring a lot better now, which is why I'm comfortable enough to share this story in the first place. While, of course, omitting some parts of the truth and redacting some parts and changing some parts as well. For the record, Tia just put me here. I know where your allegiances lie, Robo, I know. Like in the early 2000s. So I'm 60 years old. I'm sure you can figure out the math, okay? I'd like some pity now, but that's personal circumstance. You can get some pity later. You shouldn't want pity, though. You should want inner strength. That's what you should want. Yeah, a couple of things I would maybe note from the story that I was particularly proud of was that I, even after probably 10 years of emotional investment, was able to recognize when something was being shitty, and at the first sign of it went, fuck that. I have way too much self-respect to let this woman trample all over me. So I'm not doing that. I'm not having any of this. I'm fucking off. I will be alone. I don't care. Like, I don't need a girlfriend. I don't need a girl. I really don't. I don't need this in my life, okay? But my inner strength is built from outer sources in my inner circle. That's why that's not your inner strength. That's not what inner strength means. Inner strength should come from within. Anyways, my walking away took a lot out of me. It really, like, it was a tough decision that I knew was the objectively correct choice I needed to make, but it really hurt the heart of a young man to do it, right? Anyways. I like it. I don't mind being single for real, for real. Speak for yourself. I mean, what? What? I mean, what? What am I saying? Anyways, that's the main bit of the anecdote. Thank you for listening. That's been like, it's been maybe about an hour. Oh shit, it's been almost like 2 hours of me telling the story. That's the long and short of it. That's the gist of it. This is how a significant portion of my life has been minus or changing certain things to be more or less dramatic. Good news is, it couldn't be worse than this, right? I don't know. I could maybe like, never mind. I'm not even gonna, I was gonna say I could maybe like, maybe what could happen is I marry someone and then like they get into an accident and die, and then that would be my life. Like that could be worse. That would be worse than what I went through. So things could be worse. Damn, a philosophy degree turns you into fucking Buddha? No, man. I'm literally built different. You have no idea. You have no idea. None of my other philosophy friends could even dream of having the mental fortitude that I, Charis Euphranor, possessed, okay? You could marry me, Charis? Ooh, woo. Why the fuck did I read that too, man? Why? Shut up. So that's everything. That's everything. Okay. That is the end of the Charis Euphranor Valentine's Day anecdotes. It was, rather than a few short anecdotes, one very, very long anecdote. Of course, multiple things strung into one, and certain details omitted, certain details changed. But now maybe you see why why it is that I might react to certain things in a certain way. Maybe this gives you a little bit of an insight into my psyche. And maybe, just maybe, if anyone ever tries to walk all over you, you learn from my story and think, yeah, okay, I deserve a little bit more self-respect than this. Then, you know, what you're giving yourself at that point. And maybe you could even imagine me going like, you probably should walk away from this. You deserve way more self-respect. Okay, like you are worth more than this as a person. Do not tolerate this bullshit. Go away now. Be alone or whatever. It could be worse. You could be like the librarian and fly up to Vancouver with your Valentines only for NL to stand them up. Did the librarian do that? I don't think he did that, right? No, he didn't. He did not do that shit. Charis Euphranor is a hopeless romantic and that his allegiance will lie with one person for years. I'm a hopeless romantic and that if I see an attractive person once, I'll put my life on the line. Yeah, and one is like, I think that's really dangerous, okay? So please don't do that. Hopeless romantic isn't quite true because it's not like I'm hopeless. It's just like the circumstances at the time weren't very favorable. The years have been nicer to me since, and a lot crueler too. I will not detail anything, but maybe in 5 more years, you'll get to hear a story from the more recent times. that would be even worse than what I just told you today. And you might be wondering, what the fuck could be worse than having a crush on a girl for 10 years who you spent all this time with together, who had mutual feelings as well, to just kind of go, actually, no, this is like not it, but then not tell you that directly, instead try to play with your feelings and make you like, and try to piss you off instead, so you would break it off because she was just so deathly afraid of straightforward, direct communication, because she saw you as a threat, which undermined so much of the work you put into yourself as someone who wanted to present not just as an admirable and moral person, but also one, a shoulder to lean on and one that can be trusted. What could be worse than that? Well, maybe you'll find out in 5 years, or maybe I'll die. There's only one way we'll see. Oh god, I could imagine how the world could be crueler. The world could definitely be crueler. Like, this isn't that bad, honestly. Okay, I'm done with the story now. I'm done with it. That story's over. Story time's over. Story time's over. Story time's over. It could have been way worse. It definitely could have been worse. Worse things have happened to me since. Should I say that? That feels like I'm teasing you guys for something you'll never know for a while. Well, maybe not never, but you won't know for a while. Worse things have happened. Can we get a trailer? No. No, you will not. Let me think. If, you know what? If I were to give you a trailer, it would be the scene where, I think it was the first Captain America movie, right? You know how he kind of like, he falls in love with this like woman in the movie, and then like towards the end something happens and he's trapped in the ice for like 70 years, and then he wakes up and realizes he's time traveled forwards in time to like 2012 New York or whatever, and he's just completely out of time. Like, he's just like, the world has moved on past, has moved past him, and he's just like this man out of time, out of his own, you know, pocket, completely alienated from everything, and whatever was in his life almost seemed to have disappeared, as he just sort of stares at the neon like lights and everything, and all the billboards and all the huge skyscrapers and all that. That would be the trailer. That would be the trailer for the next thing. So you got put in a coma. Yeah, for 70 years. Can you believe that? That's why I'm 60 years old, by the way. Well, you'll find out eventually, or not. Why do you don't need to know this. Fuck you. You don't need to know anything. I did promise post the storytime part of the stream that I would also entertain some bits of Valentine's anecdotes from you guys on the Discord who posted certain things. I clicked on the Valentine's anecdotes thread the other day, and I didn't really see any anecdotes. Like, you guys were just talking about anecdotes, but you never actually, like, told anything. I mean, you have my Valentine's anecdote that literally just happened the day before. Okay, condolences, happy birthday, but also condolences, Hannah. I don't know if you want this aired out on stream. I don't think you do. I don't think you should have this aired out on stream. Just know that it sucks, and I get it. I get that it sucks, and it's okay that it sucks. But I don't think you want me to like go through it. I don't think that's the right way for you to process your emotions. I think you probably should give it more time before you start talking about it, like publicly. So you can properly like, you know, assess what's going on in your mental state. I think you're a bit too close to the incident. And I'll decide if she does. I mean, like, I actually don't think I will. I actually think I'm gonna veto your free will for a second and just say that, like, please just trust me that you shouldn't be doing this now. Like, wait, this is way too close to the events of your life to, like, talk about it. To, like, air it out in the open. Frost VT says, for Valentine's, we once skipped classes. If we both skipped one class each, we had a chunk of shared time off. So we could have 2.5 hours to play, keep talking, and nobody explodes in uni. Then, after a month of practice prior, I did my partner's makeup. Very simple stuff. I'm not known for my art skills, and I probably didn't do it well, but it was acceptable enough to make her happy. And then we went out to eat something. It was a wonderful time because both of us used to express our happiness pretty openly, and seeing her so excited for every little thing really made my day. Congratulations, Frost. Lucky you. No, but that sounds nice. That sounds nice. I hope that goes well, if it's currently going, and if not, then I guess my condolences. I don't know. But that sounds nice. Oh, it ended. Yeah, never mind. Same here. Frost follows this up with, same here. I haven't really liked anyone for a few years, but one day I'll meet a person who is as hyped about my goals as I am about theirs again, and I'm excited for it. I think that if you are waiting for that, it would happen eventually. But also, you don't have to like someone who's excited about your goals. They could just be excited about you and be excited about your goals via you. I feel like that works. My anecdote was above that. Now it's bittersweet. And I'm blacklisting your anecdotes from today's stream for your own good. Please do not resist. You are being rescued. Tia in the thread asks a question. Is it normal for people to fall in love only with people who share their goals / are hyped about their goals? Because I feel like if we apply that as a general principle, I'd be forever single. I don't really have any Valentine specific stories to tell, by the way, despite being in a long-term relationship for so long. Best one I can think of is when Leon and I went to Ottawa around Valentine's in 2024. It was cold as balls, but we got to see a Valentine's themed concert performed by the NAC Orchestra, which was cool enough, but I don't think that makes for a particularly dramatic or interesting story. Yeah, it's not a particularly dramatic or interesting tale, but it's a pleasant one. It's a pleasant one. And there's some sort of like, and then there's like a discussion on this, which is why there aren't that many anecdotes in this thread. It's just like, it became a discussion of falling in love because nobody was ready to really share something deeply gutting, which is fair because you shouldn't be ready to do that unless you're like a content creator, unless you make content, okay? Unless you're like a shameless VTuber. You shouldn't be so ready to just throw your life out in the open like that. You don't get anything from this. I'm getting like views, okay? I'm getting like a good amount of concurrent viewership from this stream. You sharing your tale may get some level of catharsis, but that's about it. So proceed cautiously. Okay. Okay, Lynn says, I had this crush in high school. He knew I liked him. I showered him with gifts and whatnot for weeks. Then I saw him eating the meal I'd made him with his crush. Smiley face. He was my very first crush too. Fuck. No. But also, like, okay, here's the thing is, like, I feel like it would really suck. But also then you know that you wouldn't have liked this person. If, like, the person would... If they were willing to do this shit, if he's willing to, like, take your, you know, gifts or whatever and then enjoy them with with his like crush / romantic partner or whatever instead. That's cruelty. That is very, very cruel. And you probably wouldn't enjoy being around someone that cruel. You know? I know I wouldn't. So it's not too bad. You know? And there have been like threads since. And there's a huge like psychology of love thread, which is interesting, but I don't think is relevant to today's stream. So I'm going to like save that for some point in the future. Hannah says, my first boyfriend in high school was a mutual friend who didn't go to my high school, but I remember having Skype calls for nights in a row until 4 a.m. where we just said, I love you back and forth. He was my first kiss and it lasted 3 weeks before he broke up with me. I was 15. That's, I was going to say that sounds nice, but like maybe not. That sounds like something that would happen to a 15-year-old. So I get it. I think. No, I understand it, but I don't relate. I understand it, but I don't relate. My demi-ass could never, like... Look, it took me 10 years to ask a girl out, okay? Like, it's gonna be a while before we see the sequel. Sucker Mary Barrels says, when I was in high school, we had a program where we would be taken to tour a university campus. I got my GPA high enough to be taken on the trip with my crush at the time. We sat next to each other. Okay. Okay, he's okay, you're typing the second half. I'll wait for this. Can you please read the fic? What are you talking about? What fic? Where? What fic? What are you referring to, Lynn? Estella says, my last BF asked for an open relationship. Is that bad enough or interesting enough? That's, you know what? That is bad and interesting. Yes, it is. That is bad enough and interesting enough. That is not... That... Okay. Maybe Axe and Tia and I might have diverging opinions on this. I know Axe might have diverging opinions on this. I'm such a stickler for monogamy. Not in the sense that like I think it should be enforced on everyone and it's like the only moral way to experience love or whatever. I don't think that's true at all. No. If you're poly, you could be poly. But like if you're monogamous and your partner proposes a polyamorous relationship, that is greed at the highest order, and to me, disrespectful. Give me 10 minutes, I'll write the story. Okay, sure. Lynn says, your fic? Where, what are you talking about? Okay, at me for what you want me to read. If you want me to read something, just at me on it. If it's on the Discord, you should at me. And it says, also the guy I dated after that, when I was also 15, never even broke up with me. He just posted a pic on his Snapchat story of him kissing someone else. Bruh. God, I hate when people don't talk to you and express their thoughts, man. I hate it. That would piss me off. I would be so fucking mad. But I also probably wouldn't fall for someone who would do that. I think there's a lot of natural filtering going on with my predicaments and circumstances where like I've done everything in my power to make sure that like I would never crush on like the wrong person because I just hate having to deal with relationship bullshit. I didn't really tell this in the story section, but this does remind me of a prelude to the prelude, which I was considering sharing, but I was like, the story's gonna be too long if I do, so I'm gonna just leave that out. But I'll share it now because I guess this reminds you. I'm reminded of that, I think. Not by anything in particular. I'm reminded of that. But when I was really, 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 really young, this must have been when I was like 8 or 9 years old or something. Uh, I had a relationship, and I use the term very loosely because we used the term at the time, but also we were like 8 years old. So I was in a relationship with a girl because we sat in the same, we took the same school bus, and I kind of just minded my own business. I got on first and I just sat there and I minded my own business, but she got on after me and would always sit next to me, and she was like, "You're my boyfriend now." And I went, "What is that?" And she meant that, and she said, "That means we're dating." Like that explained anything. And I went, "Okay." And she went around telling all the grown-ups that we were dating, and all the grown-ups were like, "That's so cute. Oh my god, Carison, other name. Wow." I hated every second of it because I actually just really didn't like this girl, but I didn't like her more. The more she did that, the more I disliked her. It was okay. It wasn't just on the bus. It was just like, that's sort of like where it started, right? Because we went to the same school and everything, and she would tell everyone that like we were dating, and I just did not really like her that way. But the more she insisted, the more I was like, this is fucking annoying. And then I made up, like, this was 8-year-old Charis Euphranor, right? I went, and my way of dealing with this, because I told her, I was like, no. Yeah, I told her, I was like, I'm not interested in this. She was like, "You're just saying that." And I just like, there was just like, I literally couldn't directly communicate with this with her at all. So I devised the plan. I messaged. I messaged / talked to some of my friends who I knew could not keep a secret, and I told them that I actually had a crush on a different girl. I didn't, but I told them I had a crush on this other girl from another class, and said, "Guys, please keep a secret. Don't let anyone know, okay?" And they went, "Okay," and then obviously they told everyone. And that was how I was able to successfully break up from my first relationship. We should cancel this 8-year-old. That's toxic. That's like prehistoric times. It's not. It's literally 52 years ago. That's not that long ago, okay? 52 years ago was... Do the math. 26 years ago. Okay? That's not that. No, it wasn't. Fuck. It was... No, shit. I meant it's 1974. It was 1974. That's what I meant. At Charis Euphranor forwarded. Okay. 52 years ago was 26. Shut up. Oh. Anyways, thank you everyone for sharing my anecdotes with me, or sharing your anecdotes with me, and for listening to my suffering. More to come, probably. Everybody wants a slice. Okay. Is this safe for work? Can I read this on stream? How long is this? This is 9 pages? Is this like... I'll read this some other time. I'll read it some other time, maybe. Stream's getting a bit long. And by a bit long, I mean, like, the more I... Like, it's just now sitting with me. It's just now occurred to me that I shared, like, one of the most, like, horribly personal and intimate and tragic moments of my life on like a live stream. Not the Victor M. Preg fic. Okay, alright, I guess so. That is something we'll do next in a different stream. Okay. I'm just now realizing the cosmic mistake I've made in in being so vulnerable. But like, it also, I feel like, makes sense, right? I'm sorry I didn't read all the comments. I was very much... I saw some chat messages fly by. Some I read but didn't respond to. Some I saw but I didn't read. I'll go back and like read them, I think. I'll go back and do it now. I'll do it now. I was just like... It's because I get my head. I'm just really in my head right now. Okay. You're like, okay, at least I said it. But then when they never talk to you again, it's Vegeta standing in the rain meme. Did you say, Hannah, did you say that before I got to the part where I got ghosted for 4 months? But it really is Vegeta standing in the rain. Or it could have been. It wasn't. I don't think it was, actually. Let me think. I'll think about it. I don't know. I'm undecided. Probably intelligent to some degree. Kazoo says this. Kazoo says probably intelligent to some degree. Is what a non-humble philosopher would say. A humble one would say, I am fucking stupid. /J. I think like false humility. Okay, here's my hot take. False humility is annoying to me. I actually don't like when people are overly like humble. And by that, I mean not like actually humble. I mean like they understate themselves. I don't like when people understate themselves to be polite, because I actually just think that's rude. Like if you're coming into this conversation and you've, you know, like you're way more experienced in this and you know a lot more, then you should just say, hey, I've got experience in these fields and this is, you know, I've thought about these issues. Don't be like, oh, I don't really know anything about this. I've only like, you know, like I'm only like, I'm only privileged to but a smattering of trivia on the matter. Like, don't, like, shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up and say that you know some things. Don't do the, ooh, I don't really know anything bullshit when you do. Like, that's one of my hot takes, I guess. Own up to the fact that you are not half bad if you actually are not half bad. Rather than do all this, you know, song and dance and pretend like you don't know. You do. Did I miss something, or is all that happened is that she didn't engage with you on a meeting you had once after barely engaging with you online? You did miss something. You missed like the first like 10 years of the build-up. You missed like the first like 9 years of that segment. Kazoo, man. Like there was like 9 years of build-up to this, okay? Whatever. I'm going back through old comments, by the way. That's what I'm doing. What's worse to you, a VTuber or a male stripper? I don't think a male stripper is bad in the sense that, like, I think it's, like... I don't think it's bad per se. I don't know. I don't quite have formulated thoughts on sex work as a whole. So don't ask me, I guess, is probably the only thing I can say respectfully. Not like... You can ask me questions, but... Sorry. You can ask me, but don't expect an answer from me. Right now, I'm a little tempted to say VTuber's a little worse, but we'll see. Okay. Charis Euphranor, I hate to be a woman giving a man his flowers right now, but the fact that you went and studied feminist philosophy after this instead of going incel mode is low-key hot of you. Thank you. It's probably high-key hot of me considering how, like, I was... I literally... It just... I don't know how it worked, but, like, I was on a plane, and I was just reading shit, and then, like... This happened to me, like, 3 times, I think. So way too many times for it to be a coincidence. But all 3 times when I was sitting next to a woman, like she like looked at what I was reading, and I wasn't reading a book. I was reading this shit on my laptop too. So it didn't look like I was trying to do the performative male gestures. But like they all initiated conversations with me and gave me their number. It was so, you know, if you really wanted, like it works, okay? Any performative males in chat, if you really need the strat, this works. For sure it does. It might not work on everyone, but it works enough that it's no longer coincidence, I find. It actually works. It's crazy how effective it is, considering how easy it could have been performed. I wasn't, because I was doing like homework. Like I wasn't like doing this because I was like, yes, I'm reading feminist literature in a public space. Look at how intellectual I am. No, man, I had an essay due, and I was doing research. You should actually be more vulnerable, because then you seem like more of a person, less of a douche. Actually, you're wrong. I'm never vulnerable, because I'm just way too powerful and good and secure in my feelings and emotions to be vulnerable. I could never be. You would deny your beloved viewers Mpreg. Sneeze, were you here for the Omegaverse stream? If not, then you've got a wonderful surprise waiting for you. I'm self-deprecating, not because I'm intended to be humble, but it's actually because I genuinely think I'm worse than everyone else. And that's a problem too, okay? Like, you're probably not worse than everyone else. You might be worse than many people, but you're definitely not worse than everyone. You're not that special. Oh. Do the 9 years make it so much worse? I mean, yeah, like long and short of it is yes. Go back in the VOD and watch it if you want. If you don't want to, that's fine. You don't have to. Could you say smashing or a spot of a dick in that accent you did? No. every time I think smashing, I think of like Bayonetta doing like a front charge attack in Smash Brothers or something. Or was it like an uppercut? I don't know. It's also like, you know, sometimes it's just awkward or something, but I guess you do know more better than me. Yeah, that's okay. It's okay that things could have been awkward. It's okay that things just didn't work out. I didn't go all the way to a faraway country, and get her like a sweater or whatever, and chocolates or whatever, and hung out on Valentine's Day, expecting her to say yes like she owed me a yes. Okay, like that's not how this works. I did all that shit because I wanted to maximize my chances of a yes, but I wasn't expecting it. Like, you can't, like, it's at the end of the day, it was like that was out of my control, and I recognized that, and I wasn't trying to control my fate. I was merely trying to steer it. So, like, it was fine that it was awkward. That's all totally okay. I wasn't mad that I was rejected. I'm mad at how disrespected I was after that. Not like during. During was okay. Prior and during was fine. Valentine's Day itself was fine. The aftermath where I was so disrespected is what frustrates me. Right. I hope that's clear. Okay, typical man trying to act like he's above experiencing vulnerable human emotions like regret and sadness. Actually, I regret nothing, and I was not sad. My two emotions are neutral and angry. This is because I am a cishet male. My two emotions are neutral and anger. Okay, I feel no other emotion because any other emotion is embarrassing and ruins my masculine features or something. One time in elementary school, a guy got dumped by his GF, and then 2 seconds later he asked me to date him. I said, okay, I didn't know what it meant. But then his now ex got mad and they got back together. That's how I saved a dying relationship at 6 years and 12 seconds. Well done, maybe. Well done. The hero we needed. I was thinking of Wallace and Gromit when people say smashing, but Bayonetta is a solid reference. Thank you. I don't really think of Wallace and Gromit because I associate, like, my memory is locked on to the visual dimension of Wallace and Gromit, like the clay animation, more than the voices for some reason. I don't know why. They just kind of sound like British people. They didn't really sound, you know, unique. It hasn't really stuck in my head that, well, the way Wallace speaks. Is Wallace the dog or Gromit the dog? The dog doesn't speak, right? I honestly don't even remember, actually, now that I think of it. Maybe I'll share this. Estella says, maybe I'll share the story in Vent because I need to write more. It's super long. My condolences. Go ahead and vent it if you want. I'll read it. If you want me to read it. You need a toggle of the Wojaks with the mask crying for when you're obviously bluffing. Hold on. Hold on. That's not the image. That's the that's the wrong image. Okay. Okay. Oh. This could never be me. This could not, like, I could never be the crying Wojak with like the mask. It could never be me because I cry. When I cry, I'm intentionally crying like beautiful dramatic tears. Like when I'm actually really sad, I don't really cry that much. I just sort of just huddle up and I'm just like paralyzed. But when I'm doing like the dramatic sad, which I'm really good at doing, I can cry on command. I will do like a whole song and dance with it. I'm so good with this. So actually, it could never be me. I would never put the mask. I would never wear a mask that says that's like I'm fine when I'm actually in tears. It's a perfect likeness. It's untrue. It's not true. Dude, that is so you. Fuck you. Cry right now? You don't deserve it. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. When I got to like, when I was telling my story just now, and I got to like the, when I got to the bit where I said I walked away, where I turned around and I said I'm never talking to this person again, or like, I just murdered the part of me that still yearned to talk to her one last time. I was like a little choked. I was a little teary-eyed when I said that. Because I was really bringing myself back to that moment. I genuinely was transporting myself back then. Remember, there are like 3 key details that I've changed. 3 really major key details that I changed, along with just other sort of bits where I've rearranged certain events and told the story in a certain way that makes it more of a journey than just like a disconnected series of shorter anecdotes that just feature the same person. Which is to say, if anything makes me look bad, it's fake actually. I'm just telling a story. And if anything makes me look good, then that part is real because that shows my like emotional growth as a human being or whatever. I fear that if you were anything like me, that you would immediately feel the burning in your chest and the tears welling up as soon as you think about something upsetting. I don't cry at things that are upsetting. I cry the best when I think of something moving. Like, when I think back in my life to like moments like the ones I told today on stream, but also worse moments, like I don't really, I get sad, but I don't, it doesn't trigger my cry instinct. What actually, like if I'm in character, right, and I need to play a character and I need to cry, I don't actually travel to a sad moment. I travel to like a sort of like poetic or bittersweet moment. The easiest one for me actually comes from like an anime. The easiest one for me comes from Full Metal Alchemist, where I think of the episode, one of the last episodes where Alphonse throws his own soul. I'm gonna like spoiler this. Okay, I'm gonna spoiler this for Full Metal Alchemist, I guess. Spoiler for Full Metal Alchemist until I put my hand down. I think one of the easiest triggers I've got for like a tear is thinking back to the episode where Alphonse sacrifices his own soul just for Edward to get his arm back, as like a poetic roundabout way to say, yeah, these are the themes of the show, right? It's about equivalent exchange. It's about sacrificing something to gain something in return. And Edward going like, what the fuck? Why would, like, that's not fair at all, man. I would trade all my limbs for you. What are you doing? And then him realizing that it's too late, and as he gets his arm back and like is just in fumes. That is a strong moment for me. That gets me. Now I'm like welled up already. Now I'm in the zone. Now I can cry. All I need to do is like think of like that. That's one of the easiest ways for me to settle into like cry mode. Which I'm now in, I think, now that I've thought of it. Okay, spoiler over. I guess. Crying for me isn't even like the sadness thing necessarily, it's just catharsis. Like I cry all the time when I'm stressed or angry. Self-regulation? Yeah, I think that's normal. I think most people do that. Because I have some troubles with crying. It's really hard for me. I usually try anime, movies, music that I find particularly cry-inducing in order to cry about something else. Music is like the best for that because it's short and there are many musics that allow for a lot of interpretive freedom so that I can take it to fit my case better. Yeah, I mean, that's why music is so... It's one of the many reasons why music is so important. Is because it does help. For some reason, I don't know how, it's like magic really, but like it moves the heart in a way that not many things can. Music. Like even when you're thinking back to like other media like film or television, like the music is oftentimes the emotional trigger. That or maybe like a line of dialogue from a character or something. It's powerful and it's interesting. Bawled so hard at Hohenheim at his wife's grave. It was fucking beautiful, and that's why I cried too. I didn't cry because I was like, it's so sad, character died. Like characters died all the time in the show. I cried when it was like a beautiful, poetic like send-off. Because I think that's deep down what I look for in like my emotional catharsis. Isn't like like when I want emotional catharsis, it cannot just be something sad. I have enough sad shit happen. Like not to me, just in general, but also maybe a little bit to me, but mainly in general. Like I've relatively speaking, I've got a great, I have a really good, I'm enjoying a pretty good life. All things considered, my life is pretty awesome. But like, I don't cry at sad moments. I have to cry at like beautifully poetic moments. It's just the only way to do it. Even if it's my own experiences, if I cannot like poeticize it, if I cannot romanticize the moment in my head, like for example, like I did today, if I could not have romanticized this whole arc as this beautiful tragedy, then I don't think I would have been that emotionally moved by it. Like thinking back on it, I don't know why. It's weird. It's so weird. When I hear Secret Forest from the Chrono Trigger series, I always get teary-eyed if the song goes on long enough. I'll start wiping my eyes from the tears coming down with the knowing or controlling them. I feel that. I have no idea why this song specifically. I haven't played Chrono Trigger yet. Really? You haven't played Chrono Trigger, but that song makes you feel that way. Interesting. Interesting. those TikToks that are like how to dance to Breaking Benjamin or Daughtry or whatever, and it just cuts to them laying face up in the snow or rain, hanging high up from a rock climbing harness. I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about at all. I read that whole sentence, that whole comment, and I did not understand it one bit. I am not on TikTok, and I don't want to be. I don't know if it's about heart moving or something. Like maybe it's maybe I may be really, really depressed or deeply sad yet unable to cry. It's not that music causes an even deeper emotion or something, but it moves your. That's what I mean by like it's not like heart. When I say heart moving, I don't mean like it's adding more shit to your like emotion. It more like it's stirring and guiding your existing motion so that it comes out of your body, right? Like it's like it's helping you digest almost. You're such a lover boy. I don't romanticize anything. I just spill the details. I don't know if that makes me a lover boy. Okay, I just like when things are dramatic and poetic and like beautiful, and when they rhyme, and when it all comes full circle. I just really enjoy that. I think. I also added something to the anecdotes thingy, by the way. Well, if you're like mentioning it, that means you want me to read it, right? So I'll do that. Kazoo says, I did say this somewhere else, but a girl had a crush on me in like middle school, and I did not notice, though everyone else did. Then in high school, she turned lesbian. I then had a boy confess to me without me realizing, and rejecting him by saying I'm not gay and such in a very insensitive way. Like, I like turned two people gay. I also like turned a guy away. Like during the 10 years during the 10-year arc, I just spilled my feelings on. Was also like a side quest where I was really nice to this boy who was like a year below me. That wasn't really the issue, but it was just like I was really nice to this boy who nobody else was nice to at all. Like nobody gave him the time of day because he was awkward and he was shy and he was like, not particularly good looking or sociable. But I was just nice to this guy. So he developed a crush on me, I think, and then asked me out. And I said no, like really rudely, I think, at the time. Because I was so shocked. Because that was the first time like a guy had confessed, not the last, but the first time a guy had confessed his emotions to me in that way. And it was during the time when I was already crushing on the girl, right? So there was just like literally no way this would have worked, even if I was bi or whatever. But I said no quite harshly. I was like, no, what the hell? Why would you say that? Or something along those lines. I really regret it. But part of it was because I wasn't angry at him, but it was because as he was like talking to me, I saw one of my friends, like at the corner of my eye, like behind the boy who was confessing his feelings to me, and I knew in an instant that my friend goaded him into saying this shit, and I was mad at my friend for playing with this guy's feelings, knowing that I wasn't gay, and I think that anger accidentally spilt into me, like rudely declining the boy in front of me. And like anyways, I was pissed off at my friend for a while. We're obviously way past that now, but sometimes I still bring it up and I still go like, you are like such a piece of shit, you know that, right? Like that's basically like homophobia, and that's a hate crime, and you could be canceled for this. I say from time to time to my friend, and he goes, yeah, it was really bad actually, I know. It was actually awful what I did. Are we the same person? I hope not. I mean, like, sorry. I mean, like, I hope you're not me, I guess is what I was trying to say. What I was trying to say is I hope I hope you're not me, not the other way around, but like, whatever. If it's this, whatever. Yeah. cruel and unjustified manner. It makes both sad and frustrated. I hate talented seeing artists die. Someone added me to TikTok I mentioned. Okay, shit, that's probably copyrighted music. Okay. What the fuck does that even... Alright, whatever. I'm not even gonna ask. I'm not even gonna ask. I once asked a friend whom I hugged before if I could hug her, and she said no, and then for 3 months I did not speak with anyone. Okay, yeah, you're definitely not me then. Because I would never have asked. I would never have asked in the first place. No, but I feel that. I feel that. I feel that for sure. It couldn't be me, but I feel it. TikTok is just emo music and you're in your feelings, you know? I guess. I was emo for a while. I was. Part of what really got me out of... No, never mind. I was going to date an album. I was going to date when this happened by mentioning an album that came out. Never mind. Nuh-uh. Never mind. Discard that previous thought, Charis. Okay. Okay. I mean, it took a lot of courage. I just really needed a hug. I don't think I ever consciously think I need a hug until I get one. I go, holy shit. Yeah, I think I really needed this. But I get really tense. One of like my core memories in high school as well. That doesn't really coincide with the events I've spoken about today, but like I remember one time there was another girl and I didn't like really know this person, or like we talked, but like we weren't really that like close or whatever. But basically I helped her out with a thing just because I was just helping her out. Like I wasn't bear in mind I was crushing on the girl, right? Like I was crushing on a different person. But this other girl like thanks me profusely and then gives me a hug. And I kind of just stand there awkwardly like, all right, it's okay, man. You don't have to, you know. And she goes like, you know, you're really like, she was like, you know what, you should relax. Is what she said after hugging me. She was like, you need to relax. And I just, for some reason, that really stuck with me. I wonder what she's doing now. I don't know anything about this other person, but I think she like does Instagram influencing or something. Was it something embarrassing like the release of a Papa Roach album? No, it was not Papa Roach. Was it Vices and Virtues by Panic at the Disco? No, it wasn't. It was not. It wasn't. Stop trying to guess what my rejection album was, okay? Shut up. Stop. So we were listening to Alien Ant Farm and caring for our Tamagotchis, as was the style at the time. Now that's an experience. Ooh, that does bring me back. What I learned from this stream: physical touch, not your love language. No comment. Oh, it was a rejection album? Front Bottoms or Bright Eyes, probably. No, the album itself was not really a rejection album. It was more just like angry, emo, rock metal-ish that I just played the shit out of when this wound was still fresh. I don't know if this counts, but a guy once stole my phone, then came back 30 seconds later, returned it, and asked for my number. What? Was this someone you knew? Was it someone who just was this Was this someone who robbed you? Like, what's going on? What? That's pretty crazy. That is pretty crazy. How lame would it be if the Rejection album was the Black... Stop guessing! I'm not entertaining any more guesses. I'm not. I'm literally... I will not read any more album titles. Dude, me listening to 1x by 3 Days Grace. About 7 to 8 years before the period of angst happened, but nonetheless. 7 to 8 years too early, but nonetheless, it was. Okay. I'm going away now. You guys are like... You guys are driving me insane. Get out of here. We'll stream next week. We'll stream... I mean, this week. Like, tomorrow. I might stream tomorrow. I might stream tomorrow. I think I'll stream tomorrow. I'll stream something tomorrow. What the fuck am I streaming tomorrow? What am I streaming tomorrow? Shit, 5 Hearts is on sale now. Shit. Now I have to get it. Now I have to get it. 5 Hearts is on sale now. I think I have to play that. Oh, damn it. Oh. 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 Ah, okay. Finally. Fuck wrong account. Yeah, maybe. We know it's you. We know it's you, maybe. This is some shit that maybe would pull. Can you check if Catherine's on sale? What's Catherine again? Catherine Classic. Peggy 18. Okay, if it's Peggy 18, I don't think I can play this. Can I? I don't know if I can play this. I know that 5 Dates is on sale. I don't know if I want to play Catherine. I think I've heard of the game, and I heard that it's unironically pretty good, but I don't know if I want to. Okay, you know what? I'll decide. It'll probably be 5 Hearts tomorrow. If not, it'll be something else equally embarrassing, maybe. I'm gonna end the stream now. Go away. Don't talk to me again. Okay, I don't want anybody ever to talk to me again, actually. And happy Valentine's Day too, I guess, if you celebrate that. The happy in that is doing a lot of heavy lifting here.